So wherever you are in the world, you might just have a shiny PS5 taking up a sizable amount of space in your living room right now. Maybe you're playing some remastered PS4 classics on it. Maybe you're adventuring with Sackboy or Astrobot. And maybe you're swinging across the skyline of New York with the amazing Miles Morales. But perhaps you've chosen a different path. You, brave adventurer, have decided to take on the old one and restore order to the world of Boletaria with Bluepoint's remake of From Software's OG Souls game, Demon's Souls. Hardly surprising, given how beautiful this new Demon's Souls looks on PS5. For some, this might be a nostalgic return to a game you've played before. But for others, this could be your first steps into the so-called Soulsborne genre. From Software games like Demon's Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne have a reputation for being somewhat challenging. And, yeah, they are. But that shouldn't put you off playing. It just takes a little patience, takes a little time, a little perseverance, and a little uphill climb. Bonus points if you know where that reference is from. Anyway, we are here to help you with some beginner's tips. So, let's get to it. One of the first things you'll do in Demon's Souls can feel a little bit intimidating: picking your starting class. First off, do not worry about picking the wrong thing. Classes really only change how you'll play for the first few hours of the game, and what equipment you start out with. You can always adapt, evolve, and switch up how you play later, just by putting points into different specs or by changing your outfit. Very few pieces of equipment are limited by class, so you aren't cutting yourself off from anything before you've even started. Just go with whatever you think will suit your playstyle. Knights are a classic choice for those wanting to prioritize melee combat, but if you want a good all-rounder that actually starts off with a few extra goodies, you could try the royalty class. They come with a spell, Soul Arrow, which will be invaluable for picking off enemies from afar in early sections of the game, and a fragrant ring, which replenishes MP over time, essentially giving you unlimited spell uses. It's a powerful combo, and you also get a rapier so you aren't limited to purely magical attacks. I mean, there really is no wrong class to pick here, but this one is worth considering if you want a slightly easier time early doors. Also, notice how some characters in the class selection screen are hunched slightly? That means that they start the game with slightly heavier equipment loads, meaning they'll do what's known in the community as fat rolling. Their ability to dodge and maneuver has been reduced since the equipment they're carrying has gone over 50% of their total equipment allowance. Generally speaking, unless you're comfortable tanking quite a lot of damage with a shield, you really want to avoid being slow to dodge roll wherever possible. So, if you're thinking of trying one of these classes, consider changing up their armor or putting a few more levels into endurance as soon as possible.
Brave soul who fears not death, I shall guide you to the fissure. So that you may lull the old one back to slumber.
Demon's Souls' tutorial does a good job of teaching you the basics of combat, and you should use the area to get a feel for how everything works, paying particular attention to backstabs and riposting. Backstabs are a great way to get in a bonus bit of damage on most humanoid enemies, and on paper, all you need to do to achieve them is to get behind a foe and press the same button you would to do a regular light attack, R1. In practice, it's a little bit more difficult to do this, of course, as positioning yourself behind an enemy is hard enough to begin with, and every enemy type can have a slightly different stance that makes it kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where you need to be to pull the move off. But it's definitely something that gets easier with time, so start early in the tutorial with these easier enemies. Riposting is even more of a challenge, and it's all down to timing. First, you need to parry an enemy by pressing L2 right before their attack on you lands, and then follow that up with an attack of your own to riposte. Again, every challenger in the game will be different, and you need to have the timing down, but it's worth doing to really make short work of your foes. Riposting can be scary, as if you mess up a parry, you end up taking the damage of their attack. But it doesn't get any easier from here, so why not start as you mean to go on? It's worth noting too that different weapons have different attack patterns and damage types, and you should get a feel for how they all work. It's super tempting, I know, to find a weapon you like and to just stick with it, but you'd be amazed at how just switching it up can make an area so much easier. Weapons with thrusting or piercing attacks can work wonders for World 2.1, for example, as lots of narrow corridors mean wider attack patterns can have you bouncing off the wall instead of connecting with the thing that you're trying to hit. A little experimentation goes a long way. And when you're trying stuff out and getting a feel for the game, remember that one of the most important things to do when playing through Demon's Souls for the first time is to take everything at your own pace. Don't rush and don't get frustrated, because that's when you start to make silly mistakes and die a lot. And the thing about Demon's Souls that's different to other Soulsborne games is that dying a lot can actually affect the difficulty of the game thanks to world tendency. Do not panic though, that will only happen if you're dying frequently in human form. You might have noticed that after you died for the first time in the game, likely to the Vanguard demon, your health bar halved and your look changed slightly. That's because you were in your soul form. Being in soul form unfortunately gives you a shorter health bar, but it also means world tendency will not be affected by your death, and you won't be invaded by the black phantoms of other players looking to mess you up. World tendency starts in a neutral position and can move towards either pure white or pure black, with each extreme offering different NPC encounters, different weapon drops, and different story beats. Pure white world tendency will make the game slightly easier, but you won't get as many rare item drops. Pure black world tendency enemies will be much tougher, but you'll get better rewards. If it's your first run through Demon's Souls, you'll definitely want to be pushing towards pure white world tendency, which you'll do by making sure you only die in Souls form, by defeating bosses, and by vanquishing invading enemy players. And one more word on your soul form. When you start, it'll reduce your overall health bar by 50%. But keep an eye out for an item called the Cling Ring, which you can grab fairly early on in World 1.1, the Gates of Boletaria. Close to a shortcut, you'll open up back to the starting area at the bottom of a tower. The Cling Ring, once equipped, will minimize your health reduction from 50% to 75%. So it's a very handy piece of equipment when you're still learning the ropes and need every bit of HP you can get. And even long after that, to be honest. Another way Demon's Souls is different to Dark Souls is it doesn't feature the iconic Estus Flask, that wonderful drink that replenishes your health and also refills all uses upon death. In Demon's Souls, moongrass is used to top up your HP, but once it's used, it's gone for good. Don't let this force you into hoarding it though. Use grass as much as you think you're going to need to get through the obstacles you're facing. Grasses will keep appearing. They'll get stronger in type as you level up, and you'll gain access to merchants later on that can sell you as much grass as you like. For a price, of course. The thing is, you'll be surprised at how fast you level up and outgrow the amount of health boost the Crescent Moongrass actually provides. So you may as well chow down on it while it's still useful. That goes for most consumables in the game really. Don't be afraid to actually use them. Fire bombs will make World 1.1, and particularly World 1.1's boss, much easier. Sticky white slime? Can make all the difference when applied correctly. When you find an enemy's weakness, exploit it. Once you complete World 1.1 and return to the Nexus, all other Archstones, or at least All the other intact archstones will be unlocked. There is no right or wrong way to tackle these worlds, and there's no particular order you need to take. If you find yourself hitting a wall with an area, do consider backing out and trying somewhere else instead. You may find an easier time elsewhere, and you may even find items or equipment that'll give you the edge in a place that was previously giving you trouble. This is a game that rewards tactics and strategy, and part of being strategic is knowing when to retreat, regroup, and live to try another day. And there you have it, a very simple introduction to getting started in Demon's Souls. Honestly, do not let it intimidate you. Explore, enjoy, take your time, play it your way, and if in doubt, hide behind a big shield. You can watch us play through the entire game on the channel right now by clicking on the link on screen. Or check out some of the other PS5 launch titles. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, but either way, happy adventuring, Slayer of Demons. Umbasa.